Two teams, one ferocious battle. Welcome to the Eye of the Storm. Hello and welcome to Force 13's new game show. Yes, you heard me right, we're actually doing something entertaining for once, would you believe? The new game show will thrust two teams into the eye of the storm, or in normal words, under the spotlight, as they answer questions about various things in a bid to be the strongest and take home the unknown but yet somehow coveted prize, which they're all very excited about, as well as the Eye of the Storm certificate as well. No one knows what it is yet. In future, we may run game shows with individual players, so if you think you have what it takes to take on your unknown competitor, send a message to Force 13 through our various mediums. Of course, since most of you watch us online, it is possible for us to conduct the new show through Skype, thanks to the fantastic modern technology that we now have. If you plan to do that, please ensure that there are no interruptions and that your connection is as good as it can be. Any questions, just ask. But here we have 8 competitors on 2 teams, and first let's introduce them. On our left-hand side, we have Team Destroyers. There they are. Yeah. And Dave's our team leader. Hello.
Hello.
It's a big hello. What do you think's going to happen in this?
As the name suggests,
Yeah, why did you call yourself that?
Now then, my short-term memory loss prevents me from answering that question.
Right, okay. We also have Jack.
I'll do.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, how are you?
Josh.
Hiya.
And Tom.
Not a clue.
Well, there you go. And on our left-hand side, on my left rather, your right, we have Team Disposers, and that consists of our team leader, which is Julie, who's aptly on the other end. Lorraine thought she was team leader for a moment. Julie.
Hi.
How do you think this is going to go?
Oh, it's going to be
Tough.
no.
Worse than tough.
Disaster.
We also have Paul.
Hello.
Kieran.
Hello.
And Lorraine.
Hello.
Lorraine looks very good today, doesn't she? Right, I've dropped my sheets, so I have to go and retrieve them. So, here we have the first round. In this round, you answer general knowledge questions to build the strength of your hurricane. Now, the stronger, the better, of course. There will be 16 questions. For these people, it's the same principle really, answer the right questions and you get the most amount of points. But you get 10 miles per hour added onto your hurricane for each correct answer. There's no time limit, but I can only take your first answer, whoever says it. Anyone can say it in the team. The other team now, the first team is the Destroyers who will be playing. So the Disposers now have the opportunity to guess how strong the other team will be out of 16 questions. So the highest possible score is 160. How do you think they'll do, team leader Julie?
120.
120, quite a high score, and that possibly puts them under a bit of pressure. Do you think, Dave?
Indeed.
Well, there you go. Well, let's begin. So, of course, we have anyone can answer at any time, but the first answer is accepted. Name the ship which began its epic voyage on the 6th September 1620. Someone shout pass if you don't know the answer.
Mayflower.
Correct. By what name was Emperor Claudius Caesar Germanicus better known?
Julius Caesar.
Incorrect. What World War II operation was codenamed Dynamo? Evacuation of...
Tom Cruise.
Incorrect. What would a tailor do with his hot plonker? Not my questions.
I'm gonna suggest that he creates a seam or a fold.
Incorrect. How many old pennies were there in a groat? Any number?
144.
Incorrect, it was 4. In total, how many gold rings are mentioned in the song The 12 Days of Christmas?
5.
5.
Incorrect, about the whole song it was 40. You see the question?
Oh, yeah.
What is the rugby term for a ball that is dropped forward? Correct. Pintail, pochard and shoveler are varieties of what?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Pintail, pochard and shoveler are all varieties of what?
Fish.
Incorrect, it was duck. What name is given to snakes such as pythons because of their method of killing their prey?
Constrictor.
Correct. What word is used to describe the tiny animals and plants that live in the surface water of seas and lakes?
Plankton.
Correct. How many miles do the teams race in the Oxford and Cambridge Beltway race?
I'm going to say 2.
Incorrect, it was 4. Name the actor who starred in the Die Hard series of films.
Bruce Willis.
Correct. What A word can mean join, fasten or connect?
A.
Yes. A word beginning with A.
Attach.
Correct. Ovation, Fender and Gibson are famous makes of what?
Guitar.
Correct. Whose army was massacred at the Battle? That doesn't make sense, does it? Little Bighorn in 1839.
Custer.
Sorry?
Custer.
Sorry, correct, yes. I was looking at the full name there. Where are the headquarters of the Metropolitan Police situated?
Where exactly?
What is it called?
Ah, yeah. I can see the sign. I think we're going to have to pass on that.
Incorrect, it was New Scotland Yard. Your final score was 90 miles per hour, which is 30 miles per hour away from what they anticipated. That's the questions over for the Destroyers. Now, of course, we switch around, and it's the Disposers' turn. Julie's laughing over there. So, Destroyers, how do you think they'll do?
They guessed us at 120, we did 90, so I'm going to suggest they're not even going to get out of first gear. So, 20, 30 at the most, I think.
Alright. Are you ready to prove them wrong, Disposers? Here goes. What sort of wood is used to make the black keys on a piano keyboard? Lorraine?
Ebony.
Correct. Which popular American sport is played on a diamond?
Baseball.
Correct. Lagos is the capital of which African country? I'll have to hurry you.
Egypt.
Incorrect, it was Nigeria. Who starred alongside Roger Moore in The Persuaders?
Pass.
Incorrect, it was Curtis. Which of the BBC's radio stations is broadcast on 88 to 91 FM? Incorrect, it was Radio 2. Which band have released albums called The Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here? Correct. In which county would you find Trent Bridge Cricket Ground? Don't whisper it, Julie, you've got to say it.
No, but I'm checking everybody else's.
Yeah, go on.
Nottingham.
Correct. Who painted the Mona Lisa?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Correct. In ancient history, who betrayed Samson to the Philistines?
Delilah.
Correct. Name the very famous book which was completed in 1086.
Pass.
Incorrect. It was the Doomsday Book. In which country would you find the Cambrian Mountains? Cambrian Mountains.
Wales.
Correct. Name the two oceans which meet at the Cape of Good Hope.
Was it two oceans?
Yes.
Atlantic Ocean.
Incorrect, it was the Atlantic and the Indian. Name the first non-human to win an Oscar.
Stephen Hawking.
Incorrect, it was Mickey Mouse. If you were standing outside the House of Keys, on which British island would you be? I have to hurry you.
Dial of Man.
Correct. Which film? Yep.
Yeah.
Which film ends with the line "After all, tomorrow's another day"?
Can you repeat that, please, Matt?
Which film ends with the line "After all, tomorrow's another day"?
Some of the James Bond films are Groundhog Day.
Incorrect. By what name was the German secret police known?
CIA.
Incorrect, it was Gestapo. That is the end of the round. So the disposers finish up with 110 miles per hour, which is higher than the other two. Because they predicted the best as well, they get an extra 20 miles per hour, meaning it's 130 to 90 at the end of round one. Applause. So there we are. Now we move on to the first activity round. So Dave, how do you think you've been doing in round one?
I didn't think they'd do as well as they did.
It's unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, my team's rubbish.
Jack it looks like he wants to say something too.
I should keep my mouth shut for now then. For now.
And Lorraine, what do you think about that performance?
I think we've done really well and we're 8 to win.
Spiffing. Now, let's take a look at our second round. It's the first activity round, and that means that we take a look at the screen behind me, and something random will come up in a minute to see what the activity will actually be this round. It could be one of many things, but this time it appears to be who can tell the best joke round. So, teams, you can confer with each other of who you would like to nominate to do the round. It seems that the Destroyers would like Dave to do the round. As far as the Disposers, who can tell the best joke over there? Paul's going to tell the best joke on the Disposers. We'll start with the Disposers because they were the best performers in round one. So Paul, what's your joke? On the spot, I know.
The two Time Lords were in a drink bar and Martha said, I got a nice pie for you, and I said, can I have it? I spat in his face.
Okay. I didn't catch half of that, I'm sorry. And the Destroyers, Dave, what's your joke?
An atom walks into a bar, orders a pint, sat there crying. The barman says, what's the matter with you? He says, I've lost an electron. He said, are you sure? He said, yeah, I'm positive.
Well done, Dave. Now, we have an audience here today, and we're going to ask the members of the audience to raise their hands if they thought the Disposers joke was the best. And we've got a few there. And who thought the Destroyers joke was the best out of the audience? Oh my word, it's a tie. We'll have to do it again. Julie, you're the team leader. It's time for you to tell a joke.
Oh, I'm going to use my powers of team leaders to delegate to Kieran.
That wasn't a very good joke, Julie. Destroyers. Dave's already took his, so Jack's going to take the joke this time.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, he will.
Football was getting bigger and bigger, and then it hit me.
Excellent. Again from the audience, who thought the disposer's joke was the best? Show of hands. Just the one, just the two. Who thought the destroyer's joke was better? I'm giving it to the destroyers because I thought it was better. And that's the end of round 2, and we'll now be going for a short break. Catch us again in a moment. Force 13 is currently trying to expand its services, and we need your help. If you would like to talk or write about tropical storms and hurricanes, past or present, we would love to hear from you. You could become part of Team 13, either on the upcoming blog pages, in our videos, or on our social media pages. We're also interested in hearing from general weather watchers, not only here in the UK, but worldwide. Get in touch through any of these mediums you see here, and we look forward to hearing from you. 2 teams, 1 ferocious battle. Welcome back to the Eye of the Storm. And welcome back to Eye of the Storm, Force 13's new game show. What we just saw then was the end of round 2. On the left-hand side of me, on your right, oh, is it the other way around? My right, your left, it's the Destroyers. They've got 140 points, and they are 10 points ahead from the Disposers, who finished round 2 with 130 points, and they feel a bit hard done by because the joke round, Julia did a very bad joke by delegating it to Matthew. It's not Matthew, Kieran. Sorry, Kieran. And the Destroyers, Dave told a comparatively good joke, and that meant that they won the round and gained 50 points, or 50 miles per hour towards their storm. Excellent stuff. So now we move on to round 3, and I'm sure you've already noticed what's behind us, and that's where we get down to business. It's a round of strategy, and even though we could go on to a 4th round after this, it is possible that one of these teams could eliminate the other one in this very round. So we have 2 islands behind me. This is a gridded map. On the left hand side we have Destroyer Island, and on the right hand side is Disposer Island. And the aim of this is, throughout this round, we'll be asking the team storm-based questions. And before you see the looks of dread on everyone's face here in the studio, let me tell you that it's made slightly easier because it's mainly multiple choice, so that's probably helped them out just that little bit, but probably not much. So of course you can see the map, the starting points. Basically you can go from any island. If you start from your island, for instance Destroyers, you start from one of the coastlines, and then work your way towards the other island. The aim of the game is if you reach the other island, that team wins, and basically wins the whole competition. That just proves how difficult it is. Of course, if they wish to play defensively, they can also block the route for the other team as well. A team can only move 2 grid cells per correct question, unless they enter a red zone, in which if they get it right they can move 3. And of course if a team gets the question wrong, the other team automatically gets to move, and they can move wherever they want. That's why we've got the grid reference here, so they can say which grid they want to move to. And that's probably going to go down to the team leaders. So that's basically going over all ground what I'm reading off that script. So let's begin with the Destroyers. Dave, before we begin, which grid cell would you like to start on?
D4.
Okay. And we'll mark it out with a little blue splodge. D4 is where we begin. And for this whole team, any of you can respond, but you can confer the final answer is final. The world's strongest storm was recorded in the Western Pacific in 1979. What was its name? Was it Chip, Tip, Skip, or Bob? Tom wasn't listening, he's told me. Julie, don't smile at me. Chip, Tip, Skip, or Bob? Just a few more seconds on this.
We're going to go with Chip.
It was incorrect. The answer was Tip. So that means that the other side, the disposers, what's your starting point, Julie?
We'll go for E10.
D10, or E10, sorry, yes. Where would you like to move to? You can move 2 blocks in any direction, around here, or even the other way.
Go in that red one.
Yes, you don't.
You can't go in the red one.
Well, you have to be on a red one to get the 3 points.
So we'll go.
Yes, towards D9.
Yes, please.
So that's where they go after the first question. And so now we have a question for the other team. This question is about the year 2005. The Atlantic had a record 28 storms that year, beating 1933. But how many storms did 1933 have? Was it 18, 20, 24, or 26? 2005 had 28. 18, 20, 24, or 26?
18.
Incorrect, it was 20. Which means that the blue team, the Destroyers, have a chance to move 2 grid cells forward in any direction, and you can move around as well from their current position. Decision?
D6.
To D6. And it looks like we've got a bit of a collision course going on here. So now the second question for Dave's team, the Destroyers. Wilma was the strongest hurricane ever in the Atlantic, but which storm held the record before her? Was it Gilbert, Isabel, Ivan, or Mitch? Strong sounding storms, aren't they?
We'll go with Isabel.
It was incorrect. It was Gilbert. Oh dearie me. So the Disposers have the chance to move 2 places in any direction.
Shall we go for C8, please?
For C8,
Yeah.
if that's agreed upon by everyone.
We're not allowed to.
Yes, you are actually, because if you arrive at their grid block that they've taken, you can remove that from them, but only 1, not 2. That's something to think about a bit later on. The next question's for the Disposers. Kenneth was the strongest storm in its basin in 2005, Hurricane Kenneth, but which one was it? Was it the South Pacific, West Pacific, South Atlantic, or East Pacific?
The East Pacific?
Paul's very good at this game, he's correct. Sorry guys. So you can move another 2 blocks forward in any direction.
Yeah, C6, please.
In which case, Team Destroyers might want to counteract that perhaps in the next play, if indeed they get it right. This is not a very good question. Typhoon Vera made landfall in Japan in 1959 as a Category 5 storm, but what was the storm known as in Japan? Was it the Toyomaru Typhoon, the Isiwan Typhoon, the second Moroto Typhoon, or the third Miyakojima Typhoon? A, B, C, or D? It's a bit like that, isn't it?
I would do that.
I'm going to go with A.
Are you sure about that?
No, not at all.
Yeah?
But we are going with A.
It was incorrect. It was B. And they have a choice to move any 2 blocks forward.
Can we go diagonal?
Diagonally in which direction?
But can you move diagonal? Is that counted as 1 or is it left and up?
You have to go left and up.
Left and up. In which case we'll go C5.
And where are you going? You got it wrong.
Oh, right. How many have they got right?
They get to move now.
Because we got
Yes. Dave, you're a fool.
Where were you? Where
Exactly. Well, not yet. You have to say it first. Alright. Sorry, guys. I really want you to win, you know, but you haven't. And that's the end of the round. Here today, Storm Tomorrow is the place to be on Force 13 if you want to find out the latest about tropical storms around the world every single day whenever there is something active. Here you will see storm forecasts, information and other features that will keep you going throughout the day ahead. HTST is there to complement and not replace the current storm updates. For the latest video schedule, visit the website force13.com. Welcome back to the Eye of the Storm. And we're back in the final part of Force 13's new game show, The Eye of the Storm. And we've had 3 rounds, and we've seen, unfortunately, the destroyers being knocked out of the whole competition. But one of them stays behind to try and rescue something for the team, and that will be Josh. And he is up against Team Disposers, or Disposables, or whatever they want to call themselves, in the final round, and it's a 2-minute on the buzzer round. They all have buzzers built into laptops here. It's not very high tech or anything, but you just press the button and it buzzes. And whoever answers on the buzzer, I'll call out whose name buzzed. There's a lot going on to my right. I don't know what's going on. And then they answer the question. It's very off-putting as well. It's a 2-minute round, so after the time expires, whoever has the highest amount of points wins. Now, Josh comes back here and has been given 50 points for his team, and the other side stick with their 130 points that they started with. Now, here's the thing. Anyone can answer the questions. For each correct question on one team, the other team has their score cancelled out by 10. Now, the first one to reach 0 inside the 2-minute time limit loses. If time runs out, we will have a sudden death question between the team leaders. What's all this giggling about? So the upcoming round will be just 2 minutes long. We're playing some music behind it, which is really nice. Jack's waving at me for some obscure reason. What are you doing? You're a fool. Lots and lots of questions, enough to go through well beyond 2 minutes, so we'll be doing it rather quickly indeed. We'll have 2 adjudicators back there who will be marking out the scores. So Dave, write down 5 for the destroyers and 13 for the other team. Cross out 1 if the other team gets it right, add 1 if they get it right. If that makes sense? Yeah. Okay. What's going on over there? Right, we'll begin in just a few seconds so I can make a good check on the time. And here we go. Carl and the Passion has changed their band name to what? Carl and the Passions changed their band name to what? No. How many rings are in the Olympic flag? Josh.
6.
Incorrect. 5. What colour is... They've lost their buzzer. We'll stop the clock for a moment. Goodness sake. 20 seconds on the timer at the moment. Once someone manages to know what's going on... This is a farce. Right, we'll start again now. What colour is vermilion a shade of?
Pound?
Incorrect, it was red. King Zog ruled which country? Josh? Incorrect, Albania. What colour is Spock's blood? Josh? Correct. Where in your body is your patella? Team Disposables. Correct. What spirit is mixed with ginger beer and a Moscow mule? Team? Correct. Who was the first man in space? Josh? Incorrect, Yuri Gagarin. What would you do with a yashmak? Correct. Who betrayed Jesus to the Romans?
Jesus Iscariot.
Correct. Which was the most successful Grand National horse? Correct. Who starred as the $6 Million Man? Correct. Julie knows what she's doing. Well, that's the end of the round. They win again. Applause. They could have get going forever, couldn't they? And that is the end of the first farcical Force 13 game show. We'll be back yet another time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. At the moment, we're testing new show formats online and in real life. If you would like to take part in an online game of the Eye of the Storm, perhaps on Skype or some other medium, please contact Force 13 at one of its regular mediums. The email address is force13 at hotmail.co.uk, and the other means of engagement are available on the website and elsewhere. Force13.com is the place to be.